An unexpected Ethereum ETF might be just around the corner and price is pumping. Where will we go from here? You will see in this video. So without any further ado, let's go. Welcome back to another episode of Phil Prince, your one and only stop for crypto, finance and trade. This here is the pump in Ethereum we got right after the big news. And which big news I am talking about? Well, if you haven't heard yet, it's surprisingly pretty likely that we will get an Ethereum spot ETF pretty soon. And this came pretty much out of nowhere. It basically boils down to this tweet here by Eric Balchunas and James Seifert. They are both working for Bloomberg, and Eric Balchunas played a major role in predicting and analyzing when the Bitcoin spot ETF will come out. And both him and James Seifert gave the Ethereum spot ETF approval a likelihood of 25% only. And therefore, nobody thought it'll be possible that we get one soon. But on May 20th, they updated everyone that they are increasing the odds of a spot Ether ETF approval to 75% from 25%. And this is because they've heard chatter that SEC could be doing a 180 on this. Now, you might remember from the Bitcoin spot ETF, this is not a straightforward process. There are a lot of deadlines and documents that have to be signed. But now it becomes very serious. As you can see here, the Van Eck Ethereum ETF has its final deadline on May 23rd. And just one day after that, the ARC21 shares Ethereum ETF, and a week after that, the Hashdex Nasdaq Ethereum ETF. The other ones have some time left. There's even ETFs like the Bitwise Ethereum ETF that have their first deadline on May 23rd. So for the first three ETFs, it becomes very serious, and therefore they have to make a decision. Now, does this mean that we will get our first Ethereum ETF as soon as next week? Well, no, that is not set in stone yet. After these 19B4 filings, there will be so-called S1s, which are registration statements that have to be handed in by the ETFs to the SEC. And only after these S1s have been approved, the ETF will be tradable. So even if we get an approval May 23rd here for the 19B4, they could postpone the launch of the ETF through the S1s. Now, as I've just shown you, the likelihood is at the moment estimated at 75%. And that's what now is priced in for this very moment. Also, rumor has it that the SEC told exchanges it is leaning towards approving spot ETH ETFs. And in my opinion, if that really happens, then price will stay here in this vicinity and even pump up a little. But very important, as the market is now expecting these to be approved and we won't see an approval for whatever reason, then I'm pretty sure that we will reverse this whole move here. And by the way, this is for Ethereum around 24% move. Of course, this is super bullish for the whole crypto market and not just Ethereum. Therefore, Bitcoin pumped as well, around 8%. And if you have a look at altcoins, they had a really good pump as well. Just from a perspective of market structure, you could tell that these should pump soon. And for example, Sai here, I called to long here in my Telegram group yesterday. So if you haven't joined yet, you should do it right now. Link is down below. This will even get you access to my up to now free community, which includes one of my indicators, a 1-hour trading course that explains it and helps you to build your own strategy, and calls like this one. So make sure to join now while it's still free. This may change for new members in the future. Back to Ethereum. And of course, this goes for Bitcoin as well. We'll have a look at that afterwards. We are in this range here, and this right here is the mid-range, and we are still inside this range. So adjusted range highs. Also, as you can see here beautifully within my Phil Prince reversal bands. And as long as we are within this range, there will be, in my opinion, no new all-time high and therefore no continuation of our uptrend yet. So it's definitely possible that we will still range here, especially if we don't have follow through of bullish news. And no, this is not bearish. Every time we are at range highs, everybody screams for new all-time highs and some crazy next move. And every time we are at range lows, everybody screams that the bull market might be over. And well, both of this is just not true. But we have to say this news gives us a chance to break out here. And if we're looking at Bitcoin here, this will invalidate my base case, which is that we will continue ranging for some months. And actually it could drag down this top here, which would mean that this here is a deviation and this here as well. But apart from that, we are beautifully here within this range. And as I just said, my base case is that we will continue ranging here, however that will turn out. Maybe till July or August. And then at some point in Q3, we will break out to the upside. But we might as well, similarly to us being pretty fast in this cycle, and with that I mean we had new all-time highs before the halving, which never happened before, we could break out of this range prematurely as well. And why do I say prematurely? Because normally, and I've shown this in prior videos, the summer period from May to August, September is basically always a sideways range for the last 10 years of Bitcoin. Also for traditional finance, I've shown you this chart before. This shows us that 2024 as an election year compared to many election years before that mimics a pattern that would resume an uptrend for the next 7 months starting from June. So that again would fit a premature breakout here. So that once again could mean kind of a premature breakout somewhere in June and not in July to August or September even. Another thing that I want to show you in that matter is the total 3 chart, meaning the crypto total market cap excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. And for this 5-wave structure here, based on Elliott wave theory, we are missing a 5th wave still. Also, as you can see here, we are forming a beautiful bottom structure here. Higher lows over and over, plus a breakout above this very important support and resistance zone. And if we are able to hold this, meaning we will close at least a daily candle above it, then I think the likelihood for us breaking higher here in the midterm, so maybe as soon as June, is increasing. And that could bring us to around $1 trillion in total 3 market cap. And in turn would mean that altcoins will be flying again. Now, how could an Ethereum ETF benefit crypto, especially within this bull cycle? Well, we've seen already that the Bitcoin spot ETF was pretty much the main driver of our rally starting from end of October 2023, because this was basically the hope phase up to the launch of the ETF. So basically this part here, then it launched on January 11th, small sell-off, and then the inflows into the Bitcoin spot ETF made us have this pump. And after that, the inflows pretty much stopped, as you can see here in that chart. So we stayed pretty much flat, and that's what Bitcoin did as well with this sideways range. And as you should know, altcoins performed extremely well within that period. Now, if we get an Ethereum spot ETF, please don't forget that most of the altcoins are based on the Ethereum blockchain, either directly or based off one of the multiple layer 2 solutions. Let it be Polygon Matic, Polkadot, or very recently the base chain. So what I'm trying to say here, this could be the catalyst we're waiting for a full-blown alt season. Because this period here, this was just a warm-up pump for altcoins. So I do hope that we will get an approval and a launch of the Ethereum spot ETF at least sometime in the next few months. So let's say it doesn't get approved right away. In that case, we would go back into the range, up and down, but at some point, an approval will be extremely bullish. And I really have to say, it'll be even important for the remainder of this bull market. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, please ask yourself why and do it now. You really don't want to miss any of the next videos. As always, this was not financial advice. This was Footprints for you. Until next time, crush the markets. Goodbye.